Professing themselves to be wise, they become fools. That is Romans chapter 1, verse 22. Professing themselves to be wise, they become fools. And these are the same individuals who know the truth, know that God is real, but will not serve Him. So in actuality, they are now fools. And change the glory of the uncorruptible God into an image made like to a corruptible man and bird and four-footed beasts and creeping things. In other words, individuals that decide not to serve the Lord end up serving something, and it's corruptible. It's birds, it's four-headed beasts, it's creeping image, and even the image of man. Sometimes their own selves. Wherefore God also gave them up to uncleanness through the lust of their own heart, to dishonor their own bodies between themselves. Okay, now this is where we get into the seriousness of sin and what causes it. Who changed the truth of God into a lie. What truth has been changed to a lie? I can think of one right offhand, and that is, I was born a homosexual. And worship and serve the creature more than Creator, who is blessed forever. Amen. Sin, as we see it, this is still Christianity back to the basics. Sin, as we see it, is just that we think of it as, okay, as something that I did wrong. But a deeper part of what sin is violating God's law. Doing something that God has commanded us not to do. For this cause God gave them up unto vile affections. For even their women did change the natural use for that which is against nature. People always say that the Bible does not tell us that homosexuality is wrong. But right here, when women change their nature and does not do it for the use for which it is made for, intimacy or sexuality is for reproductive purposes. And God actually in His wisdom set into motion an institution called marriage, where reproduction is His will. And then He actually gave man and gave mankind permission to enjoy the process of reproduction and intimacy with their mate, and called it marriage. Anything outside of that is against God's law. And likewise also the men, leaving the natural use of the woman, being a man with a woman to reproduce children is natural, buried and burned in their lust. So for someone to desire someone outside of the way that God set it up, the natural use of a man and a woman, is lust. It's not love. They always want to tell us, I love this individual. You can't tell me who to love. Those are words and ways that people use these things to excuse their behavior. But the Bible, the God of the Bible, the one who wrote this, said that it is lust. God designed intimacy. He designed sexuality. He designed sex. So He knows the perimeters wherewith He set it into motion. And if He calls that desire lust, then that's what it is. It's lust. They burned in their lust one toward another, men with men, working that which unseemly, and receiving in themselves that which recompense or rewards them of their error which was meet. It is error for men to be with men. And even as they did not like to retain God in their knowledge. So actually, living a homosexual lifestyle is against the knowledge of God in you. Wow. And even as they did not like to retain God in their knowledge, God gave them over to a reprobate mind. And a reprobate mind means that what is right is wrong and what is wrong is right. Your judgment is off. God gave them over to a reprobate mind to do those things which are not convenient. being filled with all unrighteousness, fornication, wickedness, covetousness, malice, maliciousness, full of envy, murder, debate, deceit, malignity, whisperers, wow, backbiters, haters of God, despiteful, proud, boasters, inventors of evil things, disobedient to parents, without understanding, covenant breakers, without natural affection, implacable, unmerciful, who knowing the judgment of God, that they which commit such things are worthy of death, not only do the same, but have pleasure in them that do them. Wow. If the Lord did not call out that sin and those sins and just plain made it plain, you cannot say it any more plainer than you are doing things that are worthy of death. And he did not stop at homosexuality. The Lord said that those that are haters of God, those that are backbiters and proud, those that are boastful. We want to, in the church, sometimes stop at homosexuality, but this is a grander list. Let's go over it again. It's fornication, it's unrighteousness, it's just plumb not being right, it's wickedness, covetousness, you want to take from other people, full of envy, murder, and debate. Oh, somebody that likes, that's full of strife, that always want to keep something going on. You are always causing trouble and always doing something to cause trouble. Deceit, being despiteful. You're despiteful. Wow. Proud, boasters, inventors, and disobedient to parents. Wow. Now even God says that's worthy of death when you disobey your parents. You do invent evil things, and you're without understanding. What understanding? That the things that you do are evil. And people that do not have natural affection. Implacable, unmerciful. Those who are unmerciful, who do not pity those that they have issues with. We call them psychopaths and sociopaths. Knowing the judgment of God, that they that commit such things are worthy of death, and not only do the same, but have pleasure in them that do them. They enjoy it. Chapter 2. Therefore thou art inexcusable, O man, whosoever thou art, that thou judgest, for wherein thou judgest another, condemnest thyself. Not that we judge you, not that the Bible judges you, because it does, but that we condemn ourselves by judging those who do these things. For thou that judgest does the same thing. Now that's an interesting statement. There's been plenty of people in the pulpit that have preached against homosexuality and have been found out later to be homosexuals. Preached against fornication and have been found out later to be fornicators. But we are sure that the judgment of God is according to truth against them which commit such things. In other words, God can judge them and has already judged them. And thinkest thou, O man, that thou judgest them which do such things, and dost the same, that thou shalt escape the judgment of God? Nobody escapes the judgment of God. Now, judgment is not the same thing as saying sin is sin. If someone is caught up in sin, those in leadership need to say so. That is not the same thing as saying you're a homosexual, you're going to hell. That's not the same thing. But saying homosexuality is wrong or is sin, that's okay. Saying that fornication is wrong or is sin, that is permissible. However, you should not be doing the same thing if you're actually calling it out, unless you're condemning yourself.